Hey guys, Ed here, bringing you part 10 of What If Deku Had Cataclysm. If you guys watched part 13 of the Dragon Ball universe, you would know why I didn't upload this first. But I really hope you guys understand. That said, let's get into it. Fearless. Where last left off. After all this time, Izuku finally managed to come to terms with his past, and he finally accepted who he is and what he has done. And now he is currently starting to train with Marinette alongside Katsuki, and Katsuki received a temporary Miraculous. Marinette would say, Katsuki, first off, I must say after all this time I finally managed to understand you as a person. So I want you to take this. You'll return it to me after training, okay? Marinette gave Katsuki a wooden box, and Katsuki opened it, to reveal a blinding light. Katsuki, confused, he would say, What the hell is going on? What is this blinding light? A voice would say, Hello, my name is Oriko. Nice to meet you, Katsuki Bakugo. Katsuki would say, The hell? A bird that can talk? Oriko would say, I'm not a bird per se, I'm a rooster kwami, the kwami of pretension. Katsuki would say, What the hell is a kwami? Marinette explained the whole thing to Katsuki. Katsuki would say, Okay, let me get this straight. You are a 175 years old lady that still looks like in her 20s. The whole reason of quirks existing is because of something you did which made these kwami thingies turn into humans. After they die, they return to that. You're saying that Izuku's the same? Marinette would say, Yes, you're seemingly taking it rather easily. Katsuki would say, Yeah, easy. I have one question. What the hell were you thinking? Marinette was confused. As Katsuki would continue. Katsuki would say, It doesn't take a high degree in who knows what kind of college. Even kids know not to mess with stuff that you don't know how it works. But, who knows? I wasn't there. Maybe there was a reason why. Marinette, laughing nervously, she would say, Yeah, you bring up some good points, but there was certainly a reason. Until it escalated out of proportions, and since the whole Kwame situation is not going to change, and there are those who would want to use them for bad, I want you to help Izuku. Katsuki would say, Okay, but how does it work? Marinette, chuckling, she would say, Easy there. You have to wait for Izuku. But you can start putting that thumb ring on. Izuku would say, Wait, me? Marinette, taking off her earrings, she would say, Here, you'll return them to me after training. Izuku would say, Okay, could you give me a hand? I'm not practical with these. Marinette helped Izuku putting on the earrings. Marinette would say, Good, now you have the jewels on. Tiki and Oriko will tell you what to say in order for you to be able to use their power. Deku would say, Spots on. Katsuki would say, Sunrise. Katsuki and Izuku turn into their respective themed superhero. Marinette would say, Now you have to think of a name for people to call you. Katsuki would say, I think I'll go for Combustion. Yeah, I like it. Izuku would say, Catbug? Lucky Cat? Look Cat? I think I'll go for a look at. Marina would say, okay, now that you guys are done with that, the suits you're currently in are indestructible by normal means. So you don't have to worry about cuts or stabs. You'll notice that as you are right now, you have your bodies enhanced, as if they were enhanced with a quirk. You'll feel more agile, and as you are right now, you'll stay transformed until the Kwamis are tired. But if you use your powers, you only get about 5 minutes before you revert back to normal. But that's not a problem considering you already have powers of your own. But if you want to de-transform, just speak the opposite, or rather spots off for Izuku, and sunset for Katsuki. Just make sure that you always have some food on you, because the Kwamis need to refuel before transforming again. With Marinette's guidance and expertise, the two boys sparred, and Bakugo had the blast knowing that he can literally have whatever power he imagined for 5 minutes. After their training, Marinette retrieved the Miraculous back and explained that there were power-ups as well. And for the next few days, that's what they'll be doing. We skip over to the day where the test of courage takes place. Jiro tried as many times to speak with Izuku alone, but they were never alone. Momo was there as well, trying to do the same. Or there were times that Izuku was with Katsuki or Marinette, and that just made her annoyed. Then the test of courage was announced, and Jiro hoped to be paired up with Izuku. But instead, he was paired up with Momo, while Izuku was alone as per normal. It was their turn to go and walk around the dark forest where Class 1B would try to scare them. During the walk, Jiro annoyed, she would say, "Why did I have to be stuck with you?" Momo would say, "Hey, don't put this on me. You think I want to be paired up with you? I want to get paired up with Izuku." Jiro would say, "Knock it off. You apologized to him, so get over him and find someone else to bother." Momo would say, "Why should I? Why don't you find someone else like Kaminari?" Jiro would say, "Yeah, just like you should be with Mineta. I've seen how he was hitching a ride on your back the whole obstacle course." Momo would say, "What? No, I didn't have a choice in the matter." Jiro would say, "Oh, I mean, even with his sticky balls, you could have taken off your top uniform because you had a crop top underneath. Or you could have simply just fallen on your back to get him off, or just trap him there with his own quirk." Momo would say, I never thought about that." Jiro would say, "Even though you may be the top in our class in academics, you are still stupid. Probably your intelligence went to your boobs." Momo would say, "Don't call me that, and if anything, I don't want to hear it comments from about my chest by someone that doesn't even have one. I mean, you're the only one that can be easily be mistaken for a boy out of everyone in our class. And the way you dress isn't helping your case." Jiro hearing those comments about her, it made her very furious, and she snapped at Momo, as she used her quirk to send sound waves into her head, giving her a massive headache, and barely able to move. Oh, she stormed off on her own. One of the girls from Class 1B, that was supposed to scare Momo and Jiro, but decided to listen on their conversation instead, went to check on Momo. The girl would say, "Are you okay?" Momo would say, "Yeah, my head hurts." "Wait, you're that invisible girl from Class 1B. "Yep, my name is Toru Hagakure. Let's bring you back to the teachers. By the way, have you seen that purple butterfly go by?" Momo, confused, she would say, "Purple butterfly? At night? Are you sure?" Hagakure would say, "Whatever, let's get you back to camp." Meanwhile with Jiro strayed away from the path so that she doesn't encounter Class 1B trying to scare her. The unaware Jiro suddenly heard a voice in her head. The voice would say, "Hello, sound bearer. My name is Villian Moth. I will help you get back to the ones that hurt you. But in exchange for my help, all I ask for is..." Meanwhile, back with Momo and Hagakure, the two managed to get back to camp, where Marinette alongside Mandalay and Pixie Bob were waiting. Mandalay would say, "What happened? Why did you leave your station, Hagakure?" Hagakure would say, "I was supposed to scare him, but I kind of watched them as they argued. They separated and I brought her back here." Mandalay would say, "Okay, you can bring her inside so she can rest. And then I want you back at your station." Hagakure would say, "Yes, ma'am. Hopefully I get to see the same butterfly." Marinette, confused, she would say, "What butterfly? Butterflies don't fly during nights. Only moths do." What did it look like? Because depending on the body structure and the color, I can tell you if it's either or. Hagakure would say, "I didn't know you were an expert, but it was black and purple and it was long and skinny." Marinette, hearing the description, her heart sank, and the fear in her face was evident. Pixie Bob would say, "Marinette, are you okay?" Marinette would say, "Hagakure, was it? Take Momo and go inside. Tell Shen to get everybody and tell him that's a code red. Mandalay, Pixie Bob, get the rest of the students. We're under attack." Mandalay would say, "Under attack? How can a harmless butterfly be that dangerous?" Before Marinette could speak, the forest was engulfed in blue flames, and a silhouette of a person could be seen walking towards the group. Marinette could tell it was Jiro. Soundbearer would say, "Marinette, can you give me your earrings, or should I just take them from you?" Marinette would say, "Do as I said, I'll explain later. Go." Tiki, flying out of the satchel, would say, "Marinette, they finally learned how to use Nuru's powers?" Marinette would say, "I believe so, Tiki. The question is, who?" But I guess there's no time for that. Tiki, spots on! Marinette transformed, and armed with her trusty yo-yo, she wasted no time as she dashed forward, but Marinette being in a forest, she had trouble moving around. Trying to avoid the sonic waves, she cursed under her breath, and all she could think was how she used to deal with Akumas, while flashback playing in her mind. While that was going on, the Vanguard squad appeared as per normal, and the events with Izuku and Kota being attacked by Muscular kinda happens the same, but in order to save Kota's life, Izuku had to make a tough decision to use his Cataclysm on Muscular. And this time, the only targets that Muscular revealed were Marinette and Izuku. Izuku brought Kota back to camp, only to find the Vanguard squad attacking, while Marinette's students were spread out helping whoever they can in defending against the Nomus. Izuku left Kota with Mandalay as he went to search for Marinette, and Katsuki followed without Izuku noticing. Back with Marinette, Marinette was trying to find the Akumatized object, as she was still fighting alone, and she had to avoid sound attacks constantly, until she got hit and sent to a tree. And Soundbearer was about to take Marinette's earrings, but Izuku drop-kicked Soundbearer with the help of his staff, and he sent Soundbearer away. Izuku would say, "Marinette, are you okay?" Marinette, dazed, she would say, "Adrian, is that you?" Izuku, awkwardly, he would say, Marinette, it's me, Izuku. Are you okay?" Marinette shook her head as she said, "Sorry, Mino, I'm fine." Izuku would say, "Okay, I'll use my Cataclysm to deal with the villain." Marinette would say, "No, that's Jiro. She's been akumatized. Just like what happened back then, when I was your age." Izuku would say, "If that's Jiro, how do we get her back?" Marinette would say, "By finding the akumatized object. An object that she had before, and it could be on her. That's how." Izuku would say, I believe it could be her choker. She normally doesn't wear one. Or Soundbearer would say, "If it isn't a little cat boy. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Let me pet those ears of yours." Izuku, scared, she would jump on Marinette and he would say, help? That's scary. Only if you get back to your senses? Marinette whispering to Izuku's ear, she would say, "Shaton, I need some time. Could you distract her?" Izuku nodded and jumped towards Soundbearer. While Izuku distracted Soundbearer, Marinette located the Akumatized object and called for her lucky charm, only to reveal an octagon box. Then she looked around, only to see Katsuki making his way there. Marinette would say, "Perfect timing, Katsuki. Here, take this. You'll give it to me once it's over." Marinette opened her yo-yo, only to reveal the rooster Miraculous. Katsuki would say, yeah, the usual. Oriko, sunrise. Marinette would say, "You see that whole headphone set? I need you to grab it and to pass it to me, while I help Izuku distracting her. And yes, it's Jiro, but I'll explain later." While Soundbearer was occupied with Marinette and Izuku, Katsuki managed to make himself fly without being detected, and he snatched the headphone set and tossed it to Marinette, of which she broke it and freed the Akuma, of which she used her yo-yo and purified the Akuma. And that's when she threw the lucky charm in the air and restored the forest. And that's when Katsuki gave the Miraculous back to Marinette. And they were on their way to return to the others. But unfortunately, they lost sight of Izuku. That was right behind them. And everything starts to line up with the anime, but with Izuku being captured by Mr. Compress, alongside Tokoyami. As the time for the villains to retreat was approaching, they managed to bring down Mr. Compress, and thanks to Ayama's help, the two marbles containing Izuku and Tokoyami flew upwards. Tokoyami was caught as in the original. Izuku was in Dabi's clutches. But they were about to pass through Kurogiri's portal. Katsuki reached out his hand to Izuku and pulled him, and pushing him away, but Dabi desperately grabbed onto Katsuki and dragged him instead, leaving Izuku shocked. To be continued. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more. Turn on the bell notification to be updated so you never miss a video. That said, peace out.